Welcome, everyone, to Independent Artists Unite song series. Today, I'm super excited all the way from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Kevin from Basavriuk. Did I say it right?
Almost.
Basavriuk.
No worries. It's not the easiest name.
All right, say it for everyone.
Absolutely. So for those of you, I've gotten this question a bunch. Basavriuk.
Basavriuk. Okay,
You
Basavriuk.
can say
Okay.
Basavriuk.
Danish has like screwed me up because you say vuk, you'd say vuk in Danish, so I can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about lighting before this started, and I was gonna say, it's Jimmy from Tokyo Teens that have got me into this kind of thing because I had done this Instagram live with him, and I sat there and did lights for 2 hours before this.
Oh no.
I just couldn't get around. I wanted to have a cool background, and then I saw this. It was like in a wardrobe closet, and there were lights going down the side, and I thought it looked like the lounge of 2001: Space Odyssey or something. I was like, I gotta get this just right.
I mean, I'm telling you, the background you have now, I mean, it's just like it stands out. I've seen it in the past few episodes. I love it. So
Well, this is why I did that. I mean, this is with Zoom, you can put in one of these green screen backgrounds, and I was saying the other day, it gives me like a strange, it cuts off my the top of my mohawk, which is disturbing enough, but then it takes away my ears completely. But as I said yesterday, I've been going for the weirdo alien look for a long time, and it just adds to the legend.
Absolutely.
Oh man. So, you don't sound like a native of San Juan, Puerto Rico.
No.
Is there
So
a story there?
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is, I feel like, always an icebreaker when I'm meeting new people. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're from Puerto Rico. You don't have the typical accent, if we want to call it that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I always have to explain, yes, I grew up here. I think at home we spoke more English. So, I
Oh,
think
really? Wow. Okay.
yeah, so I would say more 60-40 English, Spanish. I can
Okay.
speak it, I can defend myself, but when I talk in Spanish, I think that's where people pick up on, okay, there's something
Oh,
there. We're
yeah.
not
He's
what,
got the
but
native thing down. I've never been to Puerto Rico actually, but in my first marriage, there's been several. We went for our honeymoon was in Vieques,
oh yeah, nice. Oh,
this
gorgeous.
which is beautiful, and then I was horrified to find out that it basically was a target for US bombers through the years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
and
been
they've just totally bombed this island for target practice, which is
yeah,
just totally
unfortunately, yeah.
insane and so American.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely stuff, just here and there, just ongoing issues like that. There's a lot of advocacy going on here, fortunately, but
Hmm.
yeah, just lots of nuts and bolts that could use a lot of work here too. So, but
Yeah.
gorgeous place, and I'm glad that you're able to check it out. Vieques is gorgeous. I haven't been in years.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It really was beautiful, except for the fact that I'm like about as fair as one can get. I mean, you look like you may struggle in that sun too, but
Yes.
yeah. I mean, but this was like my first wife was half. Her father was from Guyana, so she was very brown, and she could just go out with no sunscreen on, like all the time. And I had sunscreen on, and still, I got these little red bumps over my entire body. So the only thing and we were staying in one of these like that they have in Vieques. They're like little clay houses, really, that are just like open. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
it's like a clay lean-to basically. So,
No.
and I'm sitting here with ice cubes. I'm just rubbing my skin with ice cubes, and maybe it was uh, kind of forecasting the future of our marriage, but we I couldn't. I was just like, don't touch me. I was so uncomfortable, and I sat there and read all of Isaac Asimov. I no no Arthur C. Clarke, 2001, and
Oh wow.
as I soon learned, it goes all the way up to 2065.
What?
for a honeymoon like
Like,
mine.
how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this heat?
But that's super cool. Yeah, and have you ever swum in that phosphorescent sea there with the
Yes.
that's super cool.
It's amazing. Yeah, I've had the Liberty, that one specifically, and then there's I believe two more in the island. So I've actually done kayaking in one of them, and it's just something else at nighttime, and just there's nobody around, there's no lights, and
It really is amazing. I mean, for like anyone that hasn't doesn't know what we're talking about, it's almost like fireflies in the water, and like it's only like when you dive in and the whole trail lights up in this phosphorescent glow, which is just really otherworldly.
definitely, definitely something out of a like I don't know, just another planet or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
wow.
It's really cool. So all right. What well, we're talking about Howl today, you chose, which is like basically it's your current single, right? Off of, but it's all like a 3-song EP.
Yeah, that's
Or
correct. Yeah. So, I mean, I have the same thing. It's just an issue. I mean, I wouldn't call it an issue, just more of a dilemma, if you want to call it, where it's not quite an EP, not quite a single. It's not one song, but I didn't want to just put out one or two songs. I
yeah.
wanted to deliver a little package. And so for this one, I just go with, there isn't really a word for that. So I'll call it an EP, but I've had people call it a single, and I'm okay with that too. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting the different strategies, because I'm just getting into this. I'm like such a zero when it comes to promotion. I've been like living in a little bubble here, and now I'm like trying. It is part of what this show is. I'm like, oh wow, there's cool people. I'd love to talk to them. I'd love to learn from them, and everyone's got like a strategy for this. It's quite interesting about the singles and how much time and throwing in. Now, I just heard another one is called like the waterfall effect or something. If you were to like put out, like, let's say it was just Howl on this one, but for your next single in 6 weeks, if you put out another song and included Howl on there,
oh,
supposedly it's like this waterfall effect where even more people will find it, and it'll be like a resurgence of your house stream. So it's very interesting to learn all this
I
stuff.
that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I would like to look into, and I think it would just, yeah, benefit so much just to, yeah, like give it more longevity in the long run.
Yeah, and so I'm curious about you growing up in San Juan, and were you in bands and stuff like that? Were you making, because this project is basically just you, right?
Yeah, so
But
this
it
is
really sounds like a band, which is cool and also hard to do. That's not easy.
thank you, thank you. So nothing, yeah, I mean, I would say just to sum it up quickly, yeah, teenager, was always in bands. I'm a bass player just
Okay.
from the get-go. So I've always in bands, always been the bass player. So I always had that dynamic. Going forward, I actually, after high school, I went to Vermont. I lived there.
Okay.
I was there for 10 years. And in that time, I was in two different bands, and, just kind of just fortified, what it is, like just that dynamic, what it is, like writing and whatnot. And on the side, I would always be doing my own material. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the name Basavriuk originally comes from. More of like I would say a Tumblr, a SoundCloud page. I would just upload my songs, put it there. It would live there,
Hmm.
and it was nothing serious. It was more, electronic driven, a lot of electronic drums, a simple guitar, maybe a vocal melody here and there, maybe not.
Mm.
And I would say in the last year or two, I had that just itch to do something new again.
Mm.
And of all the things, I just realized, you know what? I think this name, just I would like to give it justice. It's kind of helped me fortify, at least give me that boost of confidence with just trying something new out, especially with singing. I'm not a singer. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah.
Because, well, of course, that's a lot of times how it is. But I love what you're doing with the vocals. It's like it harkens back to me, like, of certain people that I've loved over the years, like Cocteau twins, or you know, of course, in Scandinavia, we're very proud of our Sigur Rós, you know, and
Amazing.
and and
Yeah.
uh, this kind of thing where you really don't know what the hell they're saying or if they're even actually speaking a
That's
language.
part of
And I was sitting there listening to Howl, and I was like, no, I don't know a single phrase.
it.
But at the same time, you get it's very interesting with music like that, because when you're not understanding the words right away, it hits you in a different way. It's almost like a more visceral, punch in the gut, because it's just a wall of sound, that's hitting you, with all the echoing and the reverb and all that kind of stuff. And it's like it hits you and it puts you in a certain mood without that's not dictated by lyrics, which is actually interesting.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think that's kind of what I'm going for there. Part of the technique is just, well, if I can't sing, what can I do to kind of evoke something, a feeling? And so I think that's where the mixing comes in, and just playing around with that and treating the vocals more like an instrument, not really as like a sung lyrical part.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no, there's
Yeah,
that.
I really enjoyed it, and it sets you apart too. Like for instance, for the Independence Artists Unite playlist that everyone please follow and listen to. Of course, I listened to that to a lot, just because really enjoy the songs and the artists, and so I listened to it going all around. And I mean, everyone really has their own thing, but it's in the same ballpark. And then you hit, and it's actually like, it's you and another Japanese band I have, which is very similar, with the kind of vocal production, actually. And it's always like the Bertoya band. I don't know if you ever heard them, out of
No,
Japan.
I haven't. I need
But
to
they're
check them
they're on the playlist too, and check them out. Um,
out.
yeah, they're from Japan, which is like really cool. I want to see if I can have them on here too. But they uh, they do that too, and it's just like actually a breath of fresh air when you're going through a lot of like synth pop and goth pop and post punk things. But um, that being said, what category do you put yourself in? Is it like a post punk vibe a bit, or?
Yeah, I guess I mean, post-punk is definitely the big influence here.
Yeah,
Just like the classical post-punk, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, The Cure, Dead Can Dance,
yeah.
that kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
So that's the influence there, I would say, first and foremost. I definitely have a lot of people telling me, oh, there's that shoegaze twist to it, which I
Mm,
enjoy. It's funny because it's not the genre I listen to the most, but I guess that's where I'm lumped to
mm.
in general, at least with social media and playlists and all these things.
Oh, is that
People
right? Okay. Yeah.
call it shoegaze, and I'm like, well, you know what? If that's what they're calling it, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
uh,
can you
hmm.
walk us through like your creative process on this song? How it kind of came about, and its gestation?
Yeah, sure. So actually for this song, it's funny. Years ago, I just had this writing phase, let's call it, where I would just sit with my phone and put it, and I'd bring out the guitar and I'd just jam along, just
Mm,
put the capo wherever I could, come up with like just licks, maybe a chorus here and there. And so Howl in specific is one of those ideas,
mm,
bringing it to life. And in this case, I would say in this project in general too, I would say the formula I use, it's very guitar driven, at least just the songs and the structure.
mm,
I do that, I compose it, and then on top of that, I just put down the bass, put down the drums, and then on top of that, I'll sprinkle in the vocals. So with Hal specifically, the song was already written. It was just a matter of sitting down behind the drums, putting something together, solidifying the bass, and then coming up with the lyrics and the vocals, which I think took a little bit more time, but came through.
but so you played the drums?
I do, yes. Yeah, I mean to like,
Oh,
yes.
wow. So you're like the Stevie Wonder of San Juan. That's
Thank
how they'll be referred to.
you.
Wow,
So
that's really cool. That's really cool because I've been actually talking to I talked to Bruce from the Stave Church is the last one I did, and he's also a drummer. Um, so it's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen because to hear the rhythmic things in there, um, coming from a drummer's perspective. But wow, those are like really wild. Like you're not just holding down the beat. You're doing a lot of you're doing a lot of stuff on the drums.
thank you. Yeah,
That's impressive. It's cool.
thank yeah,
And
I
it's
think
and you're doing the engineering and mixing too?
I am, yes. And I
Good,
think
because yeah.
that's where I could, use the bump from, just a little boost from, help from friends and whatnot. I've actually been talking, I know you talk with him a lot and have been collaborating with James from Pain in the Ass, and
Oh yeah.
amazing guy, just and he's offered his help with just going forward, just, if I ever need help with at least, or I just, mentoring and whatnot, because his production level is just on another level. So
I can't say enough about him. And in fact, but we were gushing about James in the in the DMs of Instagram because I was like, you, I forget what you did. You said, well, oh yeah, you're something about his new album, maybe something.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
I
love
was
it. I got it on repeat, and you're like, I'm so obsessed.
it's
And
good. It's
that gave me
amazing.
permission to say myself, I am also obsessed with Pain in the Ass. Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay.
So I would say with that kind of part, with the production and everything, I could tweak it, I can make it better. I'm working with what I have here. I definitely know there's room for improvement, but with what it is now, I'm more than happy with how, just putting it out there. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I was actually coming from the standpoint where I was going to compliment the production because there a couple of things that like it's easy to run into problems with are that type of vocal where it just starts sucking up other sounds. Um, and then also those many drums. It's like it's on both ends, you know what I mean? Like that vocal will suck up all the high end and the drums will suck up all the low end if you're not
right.
careful. So that's a real balancing act.
Thank you. No, that means a lot to hear. Wow.
Yeah, and I think it sounds great. I mean, it's weird with mixing and production values and all this because, well, I mean, I'm blown away by James, and I could just hear, like my songs before they sounded like this, and now they sound like this. I mean, it's crazy. Uh, but at the same time, it's like I always think back to like songs like Love Will Tear Us Apart, Joy Division, and you listen to that, and it's not going to be put on like with Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes to test a new sound
So
system.
true.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I mean, it's cool and everything, but for me, in a mix, I'm always like looking for, are there like cool, like daring moves in there? You know what I mean? And is there
Yeah.
energy? And does it sound dynamic? It doesn't sound too flat and compressed and and stuff. And so I think it's a great mix that you found there, and I think that would be really challenging to mix. So I applaud you for finding room for all that sound because there's a lot of sound going on there, and you can still hear everything. And I mean, I'm that being said, I know James could take it to another level because
Thank you. Thank
he's
you. I
he's
appreciate
he's
that.
just like a mad scientist, genius mad scientist. I mean,
Always crafting, always making the new, just working on the next thing. And it's amazing. I've seen what he's done with your stuff too. And, I've heard everything and just, it's amazing, both
and
the songs, yours as well, and just everything that he's added to it.
top secret, where we've got a collaboration single coming out at the end of September.
Nice.
It's done, and I'm actually like I just try to not listen to it too much because I get too excited. You know what I mean? I got to try to like hold myself together
I have the
because
same issue too.
he's singing on it too. And I just love.
Wow.
I sat here listening to so many of his vocals, and I love his vocal thing. And now we're singing together, and I'm just like, oh my.
I'm so stoked.
I'm super excited. Yeah. Um, but so what were you thinking? I mean, do you want to tell us what the lyrics are, or is it part of the mystique?
No, actually, it's funny. I would say with the previous singles that I put out, I really gave no effort in posting the lyrics, and they're more just okay, sing what's at the moment.
Yeah.
And for Howl and the other two songs within that collection, I actually did, just put in the time and decided to just work on the lyrics and do something that's more tangible, a little more relatable. And so, yeah, no, I actually posted the lyrics on my Instagram page
Oh,
for
really?
those songs.
Okay, I missed. Yeah.
And
Can
yeah,
you read
and
it? Can you read it for us? Are you willing
yeah,
to do it?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. I know I've got them here.
Some people get a little freaked out by that, but
I mean, I'll just go very quickly and just, yeah, just pretend I'm not reading it. So the breaking of the dawn, I wonder where they go, a chain reaction, a spell inside my heart. And then the chorus, and it's all right, I'm hanging on. And then it jumps back to another verse, caught inside the rain, night, I'll never sleep again. A net attraction, a spell inside my mind, and then jumps back into the chorus.
and say the chorus again.
And it's all right. I'm hanging on.
All right, I'm hanging on. Wow, I love that. All right, so now I can now I can go back and enjoy knowing what it's about. But it actually, it fits. I was picking up that type of vibe without being able to actually decipher it. So wow, that's cool. And
Yes.
was it now is this all metaphor, or are we talking about hurricane season in San Juan?
You can jump to that conclusion if you want. Oh man.
Because is it September you guys get hit with a
September's are the rough one. Yep. So we're just, we already had a few scares in June. Luckily nothing happened. Now it's just like, all right, bracing, we're just bracing ourselves.
And I think, I mean, it must give some comfort that I'm sure, even though he's not still in office, Trump will probably come down and pass out paper towels.
Oh, we're just so
So
stoked.
somebody's got your back.
Of course, right. I mean, that's what we need more than anything, right? Just dunking them.
Wow, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
And so are you so you don't have a version of this that you're playing out live or anything, or do you want to do that in the future?
Actually, so yeah, no, it's funny. We're working on, I mean, this is still kind of in the, in the down low. I haven't announced anything officially, but I have two friends that I've recruited to
Oh, nice.
help out. So yeah, one on bass, one on drums, and then we're just gonna try and push these babies out, just to play out live. So
And so you're going to play guitar live?
guitar live, do the vocals. I've never done that in any of my playing live experience, but you know what? There's a first time for everything. So
Oh,
just
that'll be great. Yeah.
yeah, so just I've been practicing a lot. Just I've been sending the tracks out. We have already the first few like jams and practices, coordinated. So really stoked.
Is there a thriving scene there in San Juan or nearby
There
of
really is
live
actually.
music like this? Really?
I would say just underground in general. Yes, there's a big
Wow.
punk scene. There's metal. There's a lot of just alternative rock bands, different genres with hints of post-punk, hints of just goth. There's a little bit of everything. It's surprising.
That's so cool.
And yeah, so that's just been part of my homework as well too, just kind of reaching out to these bands and getting to know them and seeing what's going on. And it really is. There's a big scope there.
Yeah. And I'm always asking people this selfishly too, because I see you've gotten quite a few streams on previous singles and things like that. Are you doing all your own marketing, or have you hired people, or
It's all
that's
me.
just organic? Wow, great
It's
job.
all me, just if I could just open up my emails and just reaching out. I think Instagram has been the biggest tool, the biggest factor here, just reaching out and just collaborating with other artists, just hey, I really like what you're doing. Just I tell people that because I think a lot of people get the vibe of, okay, like who do you have running this? I'm like, no, this is, I get home and this
Wow.
is what I do, just I
Oh,
want to
that's
put this
amazing.
out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know what it was like when you were in bands earlier, but I don't feel like, I mean, I was in New York City, so of course everyone's too cool for school in New York City, but I never felt like, people were really ready to say that, someone else was great. They're too worried about their own impending fame and
right,
at
just
least
caught in
it
your
was
own
like that
bubble.
for me. But I'm like, I keep saying this, I'm so enjoying the Instagram community and like just like giving all that up and being like, fuck, I'm a fan of music. I mean, first and foremost, this is why I do this. I'm a fan. And like to find you, to find Pain in the Ass, to find all these other different artists and really be a fan and then get to reach out and talk to them. That's like, chef's kiss.
It
It's
is. No,
awesome.
I keep telling them, I keep, just especially with just these groups like Pain in the Ass and just so many others I want to mention here, that just that there's this human component of just
Mm,
they, them reaching out to you saying they appreciate what you do and vice versa. And just wow. And not only that, but it's just hearing what they make. And it's really good stuff. Like I have it on my playlists. I
yeah.
have it just running through. I've downloaded them on Spotify just to hear when I'm not connected. It's
Mhm.
amazing. And I think that's been the biggest surprise so far with all of this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so you're and do you try to submit to playlists and stuff like that? That's something I just started doing.
I've tried it out. Yeah, I've been like finagling with that. I've had some reception, some good reception of like, okay, they'll play it, and then others where it's like, not really our thing. It is what, it is what it is.
Yeah, because I think that's where I first discovered you was on James's Pity Party
Oh yeah, yeah. I love it.
playlist. Yeah. So it's
So
like it's the streams, but also it's the exposure to. I mean, you never know. You know what I mean? And here we are right now. Um,
that, you know
so
what? Actually, yeah, I would say just from that playlist alone, I've gotten in touch with so many, different artists. And,
yeah,
now that I'm thinking back, yeah, you and I definitely reached out through there. So it's just I love
yeah,
that
yeah.
just connecting factor there.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good crew of people on that pity party. It'd be nice to have a real in-person pity party sometime.
We have to make it happen.
The Pity Party Festival in
Yes.
Backwoods, Virginia, hosted by James Cale.
Yes. James, we're ready.
May have to clear some land for that, but um, but Howl is like the single that you've been pushing um to playlists and things like that, or then are you going to push another single off of this EP, or are you going to move onward?
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking, and just thinking about that one because there's another one, the second track, Caverns, where it's funny. That's the one I like the least, and I've gotten actually really good reception
Yeah,
just from people in general. It's like,
yeah,
oh, it's really cool what you did, and I was like, I had a moment where I wasn't going to include it, so there you go.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so between that, but I'm also just, I think, going in parallel with the whole playing live thing. I'm just back to writing new
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, yeah. Well, this has been so great. So great to connect with you. And yeah, I look forward to whatever comes next with you. And of course we'll stay in touch. And if you ever need to gush about Pain in the Ass, I'm here. You have a shoulder to
amazing.
gush on.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. It's been amazing to be here. And I think I need to reach out to James now. Hey, we just had a whole podcast dedicated to you. No, it's been amazing though.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.